Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel Mylian and Me. You have to excuse me, I've got a bit of a croaky throat today, so hopefully I'm coming through loud and clear. But if you're new here, my name is Mike, I'm 49 years old. I'm a father, husband, work full time. I diagnosed with MS back in 2019 and I've progressed to secondary progressive back in 2020, end of 2022, beginning of 23. If you'd have seen my previous video, you'd have seen it on diets. There's lots of weird and wonderful diets in the MS world that claim to help you and, you know, cure you. There's no cure, is there? We know that. Make you feel better, I suppose. Try and get rid of your fatigue. Try and make you walk better. There's a lot of science around with regards to quitting dairy, um, plant-based diets, etc. But have a look at that video. I've been through quite a lot of those diets, and excuse me, they don't. In my opinion, they don't work. Um, it's difficult to take. We're all trying to find our way with this condition, and we're all trying to find the miracle cure. But how you got to look at it, you just got to adapt to the symptoms which you have. I know, symptoms vary. Some people are lucky enough to be on disease modifying therapies and they have a lot of success with it, and it's keeping MS at bay, which is absolutely brilliant. But I think as you go further down the line, for people with primary progressive MS, secondary progressive MS, it can be a lot worse. The symptoms can be a lot more challenging. Like I've mentioned in previous videos, I use a wheelchair now to get around. My walking is atrocious, to be honest with you. My left side doesn't do what I want it to do anymore, and you kind of, you can get into a hole quite easily. Ways of trying to do stuff, trying to make yourself feel better, kicking yourself because you're not walking the way you want to walk, or you can't do what you could do. You can't play with your kids. You can't enjoy the things which you used to enjoy. And I mentioned in that video about a light bulb moment which I had. I don't like that saying light bulb moment, it just don't sound right to me, but this is the only way I could kind of explain. You're like, aha, I know what I've got to do here. And it's happened in November of last year, 2024. And like I say, I was doing all these diets to try and sort myself out. I was trying mindfulness. I thought about trying like acupuncture, traveling to Mexico to try and get some sort of resetting your immune system, which works for some people. You just go through everything trying to find that key. Just to try and make yourself 1% better, because that's all you want. You just want to just feel a little bit better than you did. And I got to November last year and I was feeling really weak. Mentally, I was close to just giving up. And it was an awful period of time which I went through. And when I say giving up, I don't mean doing anything silly. I just mean just giving up with life, just thinking I'm just going to sit down and just have MS and that's it. And then I woke up one day, and I know it's cliche, people say that, and I thought, right, I'm going to have a little change. So I took some time off work. I was lucky enough to take some time off work because I still work full time. So I took some time off and put a few things into place, really. The first thing I did was I quit alcohol. I drank quite a lot. I've been drinking since I was 18. Before then, but legally 18. And it's the culture in the UK that from different countries. It might be similar, but from the UK, as a drinking culture. I'm quite well into sport, especially football and rugby, and of course it goes hand in hand. Alcohol goes hand in hand with sport, doesn't it? If you go out for a meal, if you feel down for whatever reason, if you're happy for whatever reason, if you're celebrating something, everything is just revolves around alcohol, isn't it? And I got to the stage where I think I was relying on it. I think that it was taking over my life, and unfortunately, it made my symptoms better when I drank alcohol. So I was drinking more and more to make myself feel better. And then you wake up in the morning, obviously, we've all been there, hangover, symptoms flare up, and you feel as bad as you did, a couple of days ago. So you're like, all right, I'll just have another beer then. So I found myself just self medicating with alcohol, really. Um, my family life, I've got kids, it was like I wasn't, I wasn't alert, I wasn't there with them, you kind of get stuck in a rut, really. Um, and I was normalizing alcohol, and I was, just drinking and drinking, and I wasn't an alcoholic, but I was relying on alcohol. So is that an alcoholic? I don't know. So I made a decision. Right, I'm going to quit drinking. That was the first step. Get rid of what is a poison, really. I looked at loads of videos on YouTube. There's loads of help out there if anybody's thinking about quitting alcohol. And I've been off it now for 5 months, 6 months, and I'm never going back ever. I'm never going back to drinking alcohol ever. I don't miss it at all. And if you'd have asked me that middle of last year, I'd be like, no, don't be silly. Got a barbecue next week. Go to a football match week after. You know, I'll be I'll be drinking. And you just plan your whole life around it. Everything just consumes you. Your whole life is alcohol. Well, mine was anyway. Um, and I know a lot of my family and friends. It's just what you do. You know. So I thought, right, I'm going to do something about it. So quit. Just didn't cut down. Just quit. I've got a little app on my phone which tells me how many days I've been sober, how many days in my life I've got back, how my health is getting back, and it's a good little app, and it's really helped me to sort of think, oh yeah, look at this, it's like 100 200 days or something like that where I am at the moment, and I'm thinking, yeah, I feel better. You know, it's like people say about this amazing energy thing which you get when you quit drinking. Um, to be honest, that hasn't really happened. People say you get more energy and you're like, oh, I'm more alert and everything. I'm more present, don't get me wrong. Mentally, I'm a lot better, but I've got MS. I still get fatigue. I'm still tired. I still drag around my left leg, and my arm's still like a little claw. But I haven't had I feel really healthy and fit and loving. It hasn't. It hasn't. I feel better, don't get me wrong, right? But the spike of energy which you're supposed to have, it hasn't got to me yet. Maybe it will in 6 months, I don't know. But it's definitely made me feel better. So that's the first thing I got rid of. The second thing was I joined a gym. Now, I haven't set foot in a gym for 20 years, I think, something like that. Last time I went into a gym, I thought, I'm going to join the gym. So me and my wife joined the gym. We had an induction, council run gym just down the road. And I got in there. I thought, this is great. I went in my wheelchair. It's completely accessible. Great parking. Went straight through into the gym itself. Nice and wide gym. There's a mix of people in there as well. So, you feel quite conscious. You're in a wheelchair. Um, and you're just conscious. You see people like my age or like, lifting weights and all sorts and running on running machines and steppers and things like that. You get quite conscious. You're like, well, I can't do that anymore. Disappointed. But I went there. I was knocking on 16 and a half, 17 stone then. Um, I'd have my t-shirt on, my gut would be hanging out of it. I'd just be, I've got to, I've got to do this. I have to do this. And it was such a good gym, and it's so accessible. It really helps. So I sort of wheel my wheelchair in, um, and I used to leave it sort of outside the door, and the staff were like, "No, chuck it in. Put it somewhere. It'd be absolutely fine. Just chuck your wheelchair in. You don't want someone to nick your power chair, do you?" So it's brilliant. So because of the machines, I only use the weight machines. I hate cardio. I hate sweating. I hate it. It's something that I can't do. So I do all the strength machines, and I can get around to each one by just using my crutch and holding on to the machine, sort of thing. So I haven't got to drive my wheelchair all around the gym. I park it, get my crutch, sit down, and just do some reps. And it's really helped. I've bought myself an Apple Watch, um, or an iWatch, which I used to call it. Because I'm old, that's what we do. And I bought myself an Apple Watch, and I track everything on my app, and it's it's absolutely brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I'm feeling fitter because of it. Um, I wanted my upper body strength to be a bit better, because ultimately I would like to use a manual wheelchair. Um, I struggle with my hand, so gripping the actual wheel, but ultimately I want my upper body strength to be strong, and I want to use a manual wheelchair, so I'm keeping my fitness up, you know, and keeping myself, looking decent as well, you know. My power chair is brilliant. Don't get me wrong; it's completely given my life back. But I would like to use the manual wheelchair just to keep my fitness up. Um, so the gym has just been absolutely brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I went to a Nuffield gym for a tour. We're going just down the road. With I put into Google accessible gyms. Um, Probably the most inaccessible, is that a word, or inaccessible gym I could have imagined. Um, you have to get up a curb to get into the gym. It's supposed to be accessible, mind. You had to get up a curb to get into it. So I was stuck. I had to physically get out of my wheelchair, wheel my wheelchair up and get back on there. The doors only opened out, and they were big, heavy double doors. So you're like, this is no good, is it? And then we had a tour of the gym, and the spaces, the gaps in between the machines were like that. So I couldn't get to any of the machines really. And then there was another step as well to get to another part of the gym. And you kind of like, you're supposed to be accessible. So I wrote them an email, didn't get anything back. But, Nuffield's like, it's quite an expensive gym as well. I thought, well, I'm looking after investing in my health, so I don't mind paying the money. But no, the gym I'm in now is half a price, and it's brilliant. It's got everything I need in it, absolutely everything, and that's really helped. And then thirdly, um, diet. And I know I spoke about diet previously. The diets I've tried, and I mentioned that somebody at the start of my journey said, just eat healthy, just eat a balanced diet, and that is what I've done. Um, I track it on an app, track what I eat on an app, and it breaks down my protein, my fat, my carbohydrates, my fiber, added sugar, and I've just tracked what I've eaten. I've tracked everything of what I've eaten. Every single thing that I eat, I track. Now, you can think, it's not sustainable, Mike. You're not going to be able to do that forever, are you? I think I can. I mean, because I'm all right mentally now because of the exercise. Um, I kind of got into that stage now where I can do it. I can track what I'm eating, and it's amazing when you start tracking it how much you eat, more you eat that you don't even realize. And I thought I knew it all. I thought, yeah, I know what I eat. I know how many calories are in that. it's fine. But no, I've learned so much with that, and I eat really, really, really well now. It's proper balanced diet. It's got everything in it. You say, I said before, I'm not a medical professional by any means, and this is not medical advice or anything. It's just what I do, and this works for me. Not telling anyone to try it, but it works for Mike. You know, I'm 49. You know, it works for me. So if you want to have a go, have a go. But it's completely changed my life. You know, I've lost 2.5 stone so far. Since probably about January time, because you don't do it before Christmas, do you? So around about January, middle of January, I started losing weight. I lost about 2.5 stone, and now we're in June, so I'm quite happy with that. And it's just been slowly. You know, I bought myself a massive hotel chocolate Easter egg, which was amazing, absolutely amazing. That was my treat. When I got to a certain weight by Easter, that was what I was getting, and I got it, and I ate it all like in one afternoon. I just sat there, watched a telly, and ate my Easter egg. I was cracking. It was absolutely cracking. So it's things like that, just little bits, and take it in really small steps. You know, I didn't do it all at once. I didn't wake up like one morning and just throw everything in the bin, put my gym kit on, throw all the alcohol down the sink. It was progressive. You know, it took a couple of days for me to properly get into it. I set myself some targets with what I wanted to achieve, weight targets. I split it down into sort of half stone sections. I still got a little bit more which I'd like to lose, which I will. And I've given myself a deadline of when my daughter starts secondary school. I want to get to my goal weight, or what they say my goal weight is, you know. I want to get around that, and then we'll see what part two, you know, goes from there. It's a journey, isn't it? You know, it's not something which is going to happen overnight. You know, they say consistency is key, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to stay consistent. And then I just want to talk about the mental side, of it. As I mentioned back in November, I was very low. Didn't quite know where I was, where I was going, and you know, it's part of MS as well. It can cause anxiety and depression. It's nothing to be ashamed of. You need to talk about it. That's what I did. I've struggled with depression for quite a long time, to be honest. And you know, I've been taking fluoxetine for quite a while, and I find that helps. Weirdly, it helps with my MS symptoms as well. It takes away some of the fatigue, which is strange. And I know this because I stopped it for a while. And although the depression cleared up, my MS symptoms got worse. So I thought, I'll take it again. So I took it, and then I feel all right. Well, as well as you can do with this, you know. So that's kind of helped me there. So I went to the doctor, and he prescribed me. He upped my dose of fluoxetine, and I've been taking that since, and I feel fantastic for it. I know there's a bit of a stigma about antidepressants, isn't there? You know, we don't need that. We can do this, and it's nothing to take a couple of tablets, and it makes you feel better. Perfect. What more do you want? I can feel when I've missed a day. If I miss a day for whatever reason, because I take a few supplements, which I'll do another video of what I take supplement wise. But you know, I can feel it when I haven't taken it, and you can just feel yourself just going downhill a little bit, getting back into that rut. And I'm like, I'm not going back there. No way am I going back there. It was an awful predicament to be in, really. But when you look at everything that I've done in such a short space of time, I wish I'd have done it 6 years ago. If I'd have done it on diagnosis, who knows? I might not have progressed to secondary progressive. and I might have had a chance, to be able to walk a little bit, but it hasn't happened. I deal with being in a wheelchair or using a crutch, not being able to get around as well, and it hurts sometimes, but you just got to get on with it. And I know it's quite easy to say, isn't it? But you just got to get on with it and do it and adapt to it, live with it. Don't let it beat you. No one's coming to help you. Go help yourself. Help yourself and you'll be fine. There's loads of help out there and it snowballs. It really does snowball. I started going to the doctors, then I emailed my MS nurse about something, then I went to a neurologist appointment, and then the neurologist said, there might be a trial you can go on, do you fancy that? So I went and spoke about the trial. Didn't get to go on it in the end for whatever reason, but then he said, do you want to try famotidine? So I got onto that, and it kind of snowballs. You start off with little chips away, and it does snowball into, before you know it, I've joined Shift MS. I'm with the buddy scheme with that, so I'm talking to somebody in America who's been diagnosed recently, and trying to help them along the way a little bit. So I'm just trying to do little bits just to help people keep my mind active as well, and it seems to be working. I hope it continues to work. It's something which I really feel passionate about. There's a lot of garbage out there. There's a lot of spam. There's a lot of people trying to sell you diets, and they try and sell you a supplement off the back of it so they can make a few quid. And it works for some people, but in my opinion, it doesn't. It's just there just to get in your mind and make you feel you're going to cure yourself, and it's not going to happen. So do the best that you can do with the tools that you've got, and your brain is a massive tool which you can use. Google's good though as well, isn't it? I'll help you out, but it's just from my experience. It's just 3 things: diet, get rid of the poison, alcohol, and a little bit of exercise. I just do weights and weight machines, and I don't go mad. I don't go mad at all. I just do enough just to keep myself ticking over, just so my Apple Watch says, you close all 3 rings. Great, isn't it? Your exercise ring. I can spend 45 minutes in the gym and I'm done. I do that 3 times a week. It's just completely changed my life, and it's simple. It really is simple. Just do something every day. No matter how small it is, just do something. Just simple. Even if you just sit down in a chair and you don't normally stretch your arms, and you've done something. Just do a little bit every day. Before you know it, you're like, God, I've lost a bit of weight. God, my fatigue's not as bad. And imagine that, not to have fatigue is fantastic, isn't it? It's like, sometimes I think you wake up like once every 6 months, don't you? Think, oh, I don't feel fatigued. And it's such a relief. It's such a relief. So I'll leave it there. If there's any questions, just comment and I'll answer all the comments. If you don't mind liking and subscribing, that would be fantastic. I'm hoping for a few more subscribers just to get this out there, really, just so people can relate to some normal bloke on YouTube that's making a video. He's not trying to make money from it. He just sat in his chair, which is his old man chair, people keep telling me, just making a video, having a chat to you guys, and just hopefully, if it's one of you, it helps. And you think, I'm going to get up in the morning and I'm going to stretch, or I'm going to get up in the morning and I'm not I'm going to eat something healthy for breakfast, or I'm not going to have a drink tomorrow night. Just one day, you know, just do one day at a time. Things will get better. They will get better. Your symptoms will get better. You'll feel better. And good luck with everything. And I'll speak to you all soon. Thank you.